What's up, y'all? Welcome to the first episode of Brave Nation Radio. This is our first podcast for Brave Combat Federation. And of course, I am Robert Villa, and with me, Arlo Jumper. How's it going, man?
Good, brother. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, man. It feels weird that me and you are starting a podcast together. I mean, we started sitting ringside, and now we're here for Brave Nation Radio. This is pretty cool, being that we are going to be the official podcast for Brave Combat Federation. So everybody that's out there watching and or listening, we will be like I said, the podcast to cover all of Brave Combat Federation's events. We're going to be doing a post-fight and a pre-fight. We're going to have our predictions before the event, talk about each fighter. Well, not all the fighters, but, the main card. And then the following, we will do a post-fight, talk about the event, how we did on our predictions. If there's any knockouts, any submissions, we're going to throw it out there and talk about it.
Like, basically what we're just going to do, folks, is we're just going to cover the highlight reels. We're going to cover the fights that we feel are the ones that need to be extremely highlighted on this card. It's going to be a phenomenal show. We're truly honored to be part of Brave Combat Federation. Just family, it's amazing. It's been a super honor. It's crazy for me and Berto to even be out here to do this, because a lot of people know Brave, and then a lot of people don't know Brave. So it's truly an honor for just me and Berto to get to be the ones that help it, get some stateside viewing, and get some more stateside people to acknowledge them. It's just, I don't know, man. It's been a wild ride to get this thing started. Like, a lot of people didn't know what we were doing. When me and Berto's like, look, we got some things rolling, and finally it's paying off. And the thing about what we're trying to do here is really get Brave some exposure, even more so than they already are. They're a great promotion, great family promotion. Like, they take care of everybody they deal with, and they are the biggest MMA promotion in the Middle East. Globally, they are the fastest growing MMA promotion in the world. They've been displayed over 28 different countries. No other MMA promotion has done that yet. And these guys have done it in literally, funny thing is, and I know you've seen this, Berto, was that they just had their birthday. Brave, so they've literally just been on the scene for 6 years and in 28 other countries. Yeah. Nobody else is doing that. And when we say nobody, we mean UFC. Nobody else is doing that. And that's no offense to them. I mean, these guys are just, they hit the ground running, and these guys are just rolling with it. And it's truly an honor and a blessing for me and Berto to be, to be part of this, to get told we can do this. So we're about to kick off the inaugural show right here for everybody at home. We hope you all enjoy it. It's going to be the same trash talking me and Berto, get you rolling, get you laughing. Sometimes we'll bring you up, sometimes we'll bring you down. It's gonna be an amazing ride, and we're truly just grateful to be part of it.
And speaking of watching, congrats to Brave Combat Federation for signing a freaking badass deal with DAZN.
Yes.
So that's huge.
But that literally just happened like 2 days ago. Like, them signing that promotion contract with DAZN. I mean, that's huge. Like, DAZN is going to be one of the, in my opinion, within like the next 3 years, not 5 years, because they've already been around a few years. DAZN is going to be one of the premier combat sports streaming services, period, because they cover everything. They literally cover everything. Anything you want to see in combat, that they're on there. Now they just signed, in our opinion, one of the top 3 major global MMA promotions in the world.
Yeah, man. That's a big deal, man. And congrats to Brave to be getting on that platform. It's amazing. Amazing. Hell yeah, man.
And I want to thank the whole Brave Combat Federation for letting us be part of it.
Yeah, especially a quick shout out to Carlos Kramer. Carlos, since I've been covering Brave from the beginning, since Brave 1, me and Carlos, I've known Carlos even way before Brave, and he's been talking highly about FightBook MMA, and telling the highness about us, the president about us.
Mm-hmm.
And in the background, I've been having and Arlo, we've been having meetings with Brave Combat to get this started, and just it's truly a blessing, and also a shout out to the Hot Shahid, the president of Brave Combat, for giving us this opportunity as well to be able to do this podcast for them.
Absolutely.
And like you said, man, they celebrated their 6-year anniversary. They became the world's only truly global promotion, having 28 countries, breaking the UFC's former record of 27 countries.
And they've done it in 6 years.
Yes, dude, 6 years. 6 years.
That's insane.
How many years has the UFC been around? Decade.
Yeah.
More than a decade.
Well, I mean, and technically what UFC 1 was what, in like 94, 95?
Something like that.
It was early to mid 90s.
Yeah. So yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what the Brave Combat Federation family has done for the promotion.
And in 6 years, they also got their first nominated for best global MMA promotion in 6 years. Like, they're already competing with people that have been doing this thing for decades.
Yeah. And what's cool is, as everybody knows, FightBook MMA has a yearly FightBook MMA award. And for 5 straight years, they've won the top MMA promotion internationally. I mean, it's insane what they've been doing. And the only reason why I picked them, because look at the numbers and look what they're doing. I mean, they're bringing events to these countries that no other promotion has done, and giving these fighters a platform to fight on and to get noticed. A bunch of these fighters have fought for other promotions that are out there. Even the UFC has signed a lot of these Brave Combat Federation fighters, and the KHK fighters as well. So it says a lot of what Brave is doing, and that's why they are wanting us to do this podcast, promote a lot of their US-based fighters. And with saying that, we are going to be interviewing a lot of Brave Combat and KHK fighters on this podcast. So it's going to be pretty awesome to be doing this.
It really is, man. It's really an honor. I mean, I can't say that enough. I really can't. And I mean, I like you said, we got to thank Carlos. I even thank you for turning me on to him, because even before we got this rolling, you started telling me about Brave. That's how I met Carlos, or I haven't really met Carlos, but that's how I became friends with Carlos, was through you. And it's just it's awesome, man. I'm ready to see what we're going to get to do, and they kind of gave us a green light to give them ideas of what we can do to help them. I mean, that's what we're really excited about. We have hopefully some really cool things that we're going to get to be doing with these people in the very, 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 very near future.
Very near, like next year, very near.
Yeah, like next year, very near. And you got to think, it's basically October.
Yeah, it's already October. We're 1 week, a couple days away from October 1st. So a lot of huge news coming for all of us, man. Not just for this podcast, but for FightBook MMA as well. So.
And I want to give a shout out to Sean, because he's our behind the scenes guy.
Yeah, he's going to be helping us out with this too. So
he and his camera, happy as me and Berto. So I mean, Sean's behind the scenes. He's going to do a lot of cool stuff for our editing and everything. I had to give him a shout out just because he's part of the wrecking crew too.
Hell yeah, man! Thanks, Sean, for helping us out.
He's one of the 3 that we call the heavy hitters. So I mean.
Hell yeah. Well, Friday, September 30th at 5 a.m. Eastern Time is the event that we're going to be breaking down here. It's going to be live in Almaty, Kazakhstan. Brave 62. This event has a lot of great fighters on the card. It's one of those. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They only have 8 fights on this card, but they are sharing another event with them, which is Octagon. I can't remember the number, but we will be breaking down a lot of the fighters here for Brave.
Absolutely.
So, Arlo, let's go ahead and start off with Murtaza Tala Ali versus Kirill Komatsky. We know that Tala is going to be debuting at middleweight. He's one of the latest additions for this fight card. So to be debuting at middleweight, fighting all this time at light heavyweight, that's a huge move for him.
That's a big move for him. And it's one thing to move up in weight class. Everybody can move up. I'm interested to see how he's going to move down, because that's a huge, like you just said, dude, that's a huge jump. It's not like he's a little guy. You know, it's not like he's a guy that's just said, I'm gonna fight at my walk around weight. And I mean, he's a pretty built dude. So I mean, I'm really interested to see how this weight. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's 5-0 for a reason. He's 5-0. You know, he's got 3 KOs. I mean, the dude brings it, and I want to see where if this weight. I mean, he's you know, obviously on a 5 win streak here. You know, his last win was against, I can't even pronounce this dude's name, Zahinia. You see what I'm talking about? It's Mikhail. I can pronounce his first name, Mikhail.
Yeah.
But that cat was 7-1, and that dude was a banger. I mean, these dudes that they're coming in here, I mean, these dudes come to bring it. And Ali, I mean, he, like you said, he's jumping down a weight class. I mean, it's either going to be extremely beneficial because of the way he fights, or you're going to see the project didn't pan out.
Yeah. You know, going down a weight class from fighting at light heavyweight, that's it's a big weight cut, but obviously he feels that he's able to do it.
Absolutely.
You know, so
the only thing I don't get is he's 5-0. Why drop down? You know, unless it's maybe a title shot thing he's trying to run for quicker. I don't understand the weight cut. You know what I mean? But sometimes, I mean, fighters just do random things because they want to, you know, maybe there's some bad blood between these two somewhere along the lines in the world. You know, I don't know. But this, like I said, to me, I don't particularly like it when you're 5-0, unless that's a better weight for him. If he can obviously make it, then go for it.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say that he doesn't walk around at a certain weight that's going to be easier for him to cut down instead of staying up a weight class?
Absolutely.
You know, because maybe he just feels a lot. I mean, yes, okay, he's 5-0. None of his fights have passed over the second round.
Yeah.
Maybe one. The other 4 haven't passed the first round.
Mm-mm.
So that tells you something, that he's got some knockout power, and he's great on the ground as well.
And he can grapple.
You know, he can grapple. He's got some good jiu-jitsu and ground game. Maybe he feels that having all that power that he has and going down a weight class, which is not really a lot of a weight cut from going from light heavyweight to middleweight. But maybe it's going to be easier for him to cut down to where he walks around at, instead of trying to gain that muscle to be at light heavyweight.
Very true. Very true. I mean that's a great point you just made right there about maybe it is less about bulking up and staying where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's a very, 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 very valid point. But he's also getting in there with a very, 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 very dangerous man for his first go around with it.
Yeah, Kirill Komatsky.
I mean, granted, he's coming off a tough loss.
Yeah.
He's coming off of that tough loss against Arthur Kusanov. I mean, but that cat, anyways, man, that dude had like 30-something fight experience. He's like, has like 8, like, I mean, he has a ton of knockouts on his record. I mean, but Kaminsky, man, I mean, the thing is that cat's a submission machine. And that's what I want to see, because to me, banging, don't get me wrong, you know, I and I'm not trying to just throw this out there again, but coming from a boxing background, fighting's fighting. But when you hit that ground, that's a whole different cardio level. And so Kaminsky coming out with that, with he has like 6 finishes by submission, only 2 knockouts. Man, it's a whole nother level he brings on that conditioning level. And that's where I want to see if the weight cut is gonna hurt Ali because of possibly losing a little bit of muscle, losing a little bit of or drying yourself out too much. People's like, oh well, he's only dropping from 205 to 85. That's still a big jump when you're a grown man that's fighting and your body says I'm 205. Just saying.
That's true.
But I mean, and don't get me wrong, I don't know his nutritionists, I don't know his coaches. If he's at this level, I hope he's getting with the right people that's going to make him condition down and not just be like, well, we're just going to make you lose the weight, because that's totally 2 different worlds. When you go with conditioning down to just losing weight to make a fight, a lot of people end up not being the same fighter because they just lost the weight. They didn't condition themselves down, so they end up losing some muscle mass. They end up losing just water weight, and then come fight night, it shows. They're gassing out in the first round. It's not the same thing. And like I said, Kaminsky, man, he's going to bring it to make him test that cardio. He's going to try to get him on the ground. He's going to try to force him on the ground. Not saying Ali doesn't have the ground game, but with that 20 extra pound weight cut, we're going to see if it was conditioned down or lost. And that's what I'm ready to see on that one. Honest to God, dude, that's what I want to see, the conditioning. Because Kaminsky with 6 submissions, he's telling you right then what he's game with.
And we'll see you come Thursday night, man. I mean, with the weigh-ins.
Yep.
You know, sometimes you can tell when a fighter's ready. You can tell when he's conditioned. You can tell a lot at the weigh-ins and during the face-offs. So we'll see, man, because like you said, Kirill, he's a finisher, man.
Yeah,
he is a fucking finisher. Before his last loss, none of his fights passed over the first round. From 2017 all the way to 2019, all those fights, well, except for maybe, I don't even know where this other one finished at, but from what I'm seeing here, did not pass the first round. So you got 2 guys that like to finish their fights quick. Yep. It's going to be an explosive, exciting fight for all the fans there at Kazakhstan, man. And everybody else around the world that's watching. This one to me is a toss-up. I want to lean more towards Kirill because he's been fighting at that weight. He's been knocking fools out, submission fools out. And, the last fight, yes, he did lose. It is what it is. You can't win them all. You can't win them all. Murtaza is on a 5-win streak, jumping down to middleweight from fighting at light heavyweight. We'll see what the power and the cardio looks like for Murtaza.
I'm sorry, I'm dying over here. Keep going, because I'm totally gonna just mess with you.
Okay, so
you're taking.
I'm taking Kirill. That's how we say his name. I'm just gonna say Komitsky. I'm gonna have him in the first round by KO.
See, I'm taking Ali.
Oh, shit.
Second round KO.
Ooh.
The reason I take it is because I don't see Komitsky to do what he does to everyone else against the bigger man. And I'm a striker. Right. and I'm a
You're
striker,
right.
and I'm a
You're
striker,
right.
and Ali's got 3 knockouts. The dude's a banger, and he's well rounded on the ground. So I think when he gets in there with the bigger, stronger man, he's going to feel just the strikes coming a little harder. And when you tend to have a guy that, especially a guy that's dropping weight down, if Ali's going to win it, he don't need to take it to the third. He needs to end it. I think it's going to go early second. Why I say early second is I see him to hurt Kaminsky at the end of the first, and that to carry over into the second. Like I see it to be more of a fill out round in round one, and Kaminsky's not going to like what he sees when he goes to shoot, and he can't just double leg or single leg or push him against the cage, and that it's not going to work against the bigger man. Now, will this middleweight transition pan out? I don't know, but I think it pans out in this one. And the reason I say it is because Kaminsky's already lost. He's lost the few times he's lost has been to strikers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ali's striking with 3 KOs is going to be a little bit of a difference maker for me. And the transitioning down, I think it's just going to feel different than any other middleweight he's really been in there. Because if Ali comes in, he's naturally a 205er, so that means on fight night, he's probably 210, 215. Well, if they're just kind of drying him out, he may be back on fight night, back to the 210, 215. You know what I mean? He may come in and pull the old Conor McGregor when Conor was dipping down to 55 and 45s and, come in looking like a skeleton, and then on fight night looking like a middleweight. That may be what he walks into on fight night. Don't get me wrong. He's ready for it. He's prepared for it. But at the same time, your training partners, the fight night is 2 different worlds. You know
That's
what I mean? Because I got to go with Ali with that one, and I think it's going to be the power, the size differential. I think that's what's going to carry over, and I think he ends it with the knockout in early parts of round 2 after he hurts him at the end of round 1, because Kaminsky is not going to do the same. That fill out round is going to be more of a, I don't want to say like letdown, but it's going to be more in his head because things aren't working like they normally did against the normal middleweights.
Yeah.
That's where I'm sticking with it. And like I said, will the transition, we'll see how the transition keeps continuing to pan out after this. Or if it's a one and done thing, maybe this was just a, hey, we got this guy. Can you make the weight? And yes, I don't know. We'll see after Friday night.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, next up we have Ilya Ashkanov versus Omar Solomonov. And this fight for us is a no-brainer. We know, we in our gut feeling, we kind of already know who we're going to pick as the winner for this fight. And we pick Omar. This guy is ranked number 3 featherweight on Tapology. I mean, that's a highly, highly ranked fighter right there. This guy finishes all his fights. He's on a 10 fight win streak. And none of them have 10 fight win streak, and most of them hadn't even passed the second round, dude.
By most of the time you hit a 10 fight win streak, you're a champion.
Right?
And I mean, this dude's on a 10 fight win streak. Someone needs to give him a title shot somewhere.
Hey, you never know. Maybe this is going to be that fight.
Like, I think that honestly, like this is just my personal opinion. I don't know what's going on there, but I honestly think this is his next stepping stone to see, okay, move him up, because he's the 3rd fight from the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Which means he's on a 10 fight win streak. Your third fight from the main event. Something's given here. Something's given in. And I don't know what they had planned for him, but they've moved him up to the 3rd fight from the main event. You're almost to the co-main. I mean, we've seen title fights be on the co-main.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think this is it. I think if he lands this 11 fight, if he can extend that streak to 11, I think that's it. And I mean, because I mean, he won. Who he beat last time? Raphael Hudson.
I think so. Let me go to his.
Hudsey of something like that. I know his Raphael was his first name, but I mean that cat was game. That dude was tough.
Yeah, he beat Rafael Hudson at Brave Combat 54.
Yep.
On the second round by rear naked choke. Then he fought his debut with Brave, Valerio Mercay, by unanimous decision. So that was pretty good. Probably a tough fight, unanimous decision, fighting, for Brave, making the debut. Because a lot of these fighters that debut at these big promotions, the nerves kick in.
Absolutely.
So, but he still won. A win is a win.
And
yeah.
Omar, man, he's me. I'm a striker. I'm a fan of the strikers. He's got 8 knockouts,
dude.
2 subs, 1 decision. I mean, so he's not going to try to choke you out. Ironically, his last fight he choked the guy out. But for the main part, this cat's coming in to hurt you and hurt you bad. But I will say this though, man, Askanov, he's got 6 subs. Styles make fights. The only difference is it's going to be if Askanov wants to have a chance in this, and I'm not saying he don't have a chance, but if he wants to have his chance, he's got to come in there, make the style makes fights, and literally work his ground game and stay in that pocket. He don't want to get caught where he gets hit with something hard and he starts shooting from across the cage, because you're going to see that. You don't, as long as he can evade the big shots, keep him pressed, in my opinion, against the cage, because if you keep him, if he can keep him against the cage, that's going to keep him from being able to get that full extension and that mid range, the inside fighting, because the inside fighting isn't pressed against the cage. That's too inside. You know what I mean? And Oskanov is going to have to keep this on the ground if he wants to win it, to either win by a submission or take it to a decision. Now my personal take, I don't see it happening. I know I just completely contradicted everything that we kind of just said, but I was just being honest. If he wants an honest shot at winning this, he's gonna have to, play his game plan. He's gonna have to pitch the perfect game against a guy like this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Oskanov isn't no flake either. He's 11-4. He's got 3 knockouts of his own. I mean, he can knock you out. Is it his most favorite thing to do? No, he's a submission guy, which is fine, because it's perfectly fine when you're going against a guy that only wants to knock you out. I mean, that play your hand. Now, if Omar wants to, he's going to have to keep him at bay. He's going to have to use his range. He's going to have to use his kicks, take away that shot, that lead leg. This is just my opinion. That's what I would do against a guy that's grappling. Why? Because he's not going to be able to shoot on me like he should. If I keep kicking out that lead leg, well, guess what? It's going to get harder and harder and harder and harder to push off of and stand off of. So that's what I look at with Omar on this one. Like Omar, it's not just because Omar is on a 10-fight win streak. Yeah, that's great. That's phenomenal. But at the same time, you still in there with another dangerous man. And Oskanov is coming off of a 2-fight win streak himself. And he's coming off.
And they're submission wins too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely they were. And the thing is that he's coming off 2 wins against 2 very tough opponents. Who were also heavy-handed people. So I mean, he didn't just have grappling matches. This cat knows what he's doing. Now, like I said, do I see it playing out that way? No, I see Omar strategically break him down, and I think this is a late round, second round knockout. And I see it to give him a little frustration at first until he figures out his range and a little bit of more of Oskanov's timing. That's where I see it, and that's why I see it to extend out to end of the second. I don't see it to go past the second, because Omar's just naturally a tough dude, man. I mean, this dude's he's 11-2 for a reason. And I mean, like I said, don't get me wrong, Oskanov's no slouch. He's 11-4. They both got 11 wins. Omar just, and the thing I love about MMA is they understand records that things happen. So, Omar might be 11-4. We don't know the whole story of them. We don't know the story of those four. So, like I said, Oskanov is 11-4. We don't know the whole story, but Omar, like I said, man, I think it's Omar. I think he strategically uses striking, sets him up for something big, whether it's a knee, a big overhand, something. But I see it to stop at the end toward the end of the second.
Yeah, man. I agree 100% what you're saying. I don't see this fight passing through the second round at all. I think this fight is going to end quick. I think Omar is going to bring it like he always does. I mean, he's on a 10-fight win streak. I mean, that's such huge, and something about this fighter. 11-2 against an 11-4. We can't, bash on Askanov because he is a dangerous fighter too. His submission game is on point. His striking is really, really good too. Yeah. So you have two fighters that love to strike, but one is more dominant than the other as far as the ground game, which is Askanov.
And Askanov's going to need his good striking to at least contend with Omar if he wants to set up his ground game.
Right.
Because he's going to, I mean, when you're a grappler and you're going in there at this level against a striker, you're going to have to set up your shots, and I don't mean your punches, but shooting with your strikes. You're going to have to make him respect your stand-up game and then go to your main game. But like I said, at the same time, the cat still got 3 knockouts, so it's not too far. Us saying Omar's going to win it isn't us disrespecting Oskanov. It's just saying that we think Omar's better striking is what's going to be the difference maker. It's going to keep him at bay. That's where I'm at. And like I said, I think it's a late second round stoppage.
Yeah. Yep. Same here, man. Late second round. It's going to be a banger of a fight, man. I mean, these guys are going to bring in, and it's gonna show when they get into the middle of the cage with Brave, and I just feel like they're going to put on a show for the fans, man.
Absolutely. I think it could be sleeper for a fight of the night.
I think so too. I think this one could be the fight of the night.
Omar has just enough ground game. And I'm not saying his ground game's trash or anything, but he has good enough ground game. I should put it that way. He has good enough ground game to contend with guys who are strictly, more on the grappling side. So that's why I'm thinking it's going to be a sleeper, possibly fight of the night.
Yeah, you're right.
But I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. If it goes fight of the night, I'm going to change this up one time. If it goes fight of the night, it goes all 3 split decision.
Ooh.
Because they're both on fight streaks.
Yeah.
And I think again, if it goes to decision, I still think Omar takes it. I think he's going to dictate the pace better with that better striking. Because people get mad in MMA and they want to talk about grappling and everything else that you do, but ultimately, in my opinion, you dictate the fight with everything you do from the stand-up point. Because because it sets up your grappling. Like, people will be like, well, so-and-so does this, and when, he's a grappler. Yeah, but he hasn't ever just dealt with that well-rounded person yet. You know what I mean? And so when they're dominating the guys, because that guy only can't when he's getting dominated on the ground, a lot of them can't grapple.
Yeah.
We've all seen that. I've trained guys that's done that. I won't mention no names, but they hit the ground, they're like a turtle.
Yeah. So we are in a unanimous decision here that Omar is going to win late in the second round. If not, he's still going to win, possibly by split decision. So
by no matter what, the fight of the night.
And yeah, we're predicting this to be the fight of the night, considering they're not even on the co-main or the main event. So
I think they're going to be the sleeper for it. That's just my take. I'm going to stick with it. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah. So y'all better be watching this event. I know it's an early start because they're on the other side of the world.
Yep.
It does start at 5 a.m. Eastern time, so that's 3 o'clock.
That's 4 a.m.
That's
my time.
3
In
o'clock,
Central Time.
3 a.m. my time. So holy moly.
And so you're looking at 1 a.m. on the West Coast.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, if you're a fight fan, trust me, you're not going to be disappointed for getting up early or staying up late, whatever. You're not going to be disappointed by any means. Like this card is stacked with people that I'm going to put it this way. This card is stacked with people you need to know.
Exactly. You need to know these fighters. Yeah. You just,
because
you can't just be a UFC fan.
No,
and
say you're a fight
just fan. UFC, and you're exactly. You say you're a fight fan. You gotta watch these fighters at Brave. You have to.
Absolutely.
Where do you think most of these fighters are coming from to be fighting under the UFC? They're coming from Brave,
or where they're heading off to.
Exactly. So, and the best part is this event is free. It's going to be on BraveTV.com and on YouTube.
Now, let me ask you a question because we haven't talked a lot on this part. If they miss the 5 a.m. Eastern time frame, can they rewatch it on the webpage and on the YouTube?
Of course.
Absolutely. So there's your answer.
Definitely.
So
definitely
mark it on your calendar at least. We would love to have you all watch it live because that gives it more live views, but still it's giving them click views by watching it regardless. So we would love to get everybody to watch it. Me and Berto probably going to try to figure out a way to watch it live and text in the middle of it, even though we're going to be half awake, or we can even Zoom meeting it, and watch it. That'd be fun, do something. But so we're going to try. We're going to watch it regardless on the live time. We would love to have everybody do it. We ought to do like a live show one of these times on the thing and just see how many views we can get. Let people chime in, bring in guests, not drunk guests. You got to be sober. You got to be sober when you talk. But yeah, dude. No, I love it, dude. I'm glad that you can find the replay, and that's it. If you can't make it live, we would love to have you live watch it. But go to the website, rewatch it. Go to YouTube and rewatch it.
Yes.
Now drop their YouTube channel. What's the name of the YouTube channel?
It's Brave Combat Federation.
Okay.
Just do a search, Brave Combat Federation, and it'll be the first one to pop up. Or go to BraveCFTV.com, and it'll take you straight on there. All you got to do to watch this event is put in your name, password, and you're in. It's
totally
simple.
Free. Totally free. No BS gimmick to try to make you buy something or put money in something. No, and you can browse libraries of old fights there, correct? Yeah, so like once you watch this one, if you're like, man, this fighter's got something, then you can go back and rewatch some of their previous fights there. Yeah. Which is phenomenal, and get to know these guys. Like I said, because if you don't know, you should know these guys because these guys are coming in hot.
Right on. So next up, we have Mimosh Raza versus Nurzan Akshev. This Raza is 10-4, ranked number 20. Akshev is 13-3, ranked at number 6. What's your take on this fight? Yeah, by Tapology.
Raza, he's 10-4. He only has 1 knockout, 4 subs, 5 decision wins. That tells me right there, Raza's got a gas tank. The majority of your fights go the distance, but me, I'm a fan of ending it. So that tells me you got a gas tank, but are you lacking something? Because he only has 4 submissions and 1 KO, which he's a little bit more of a grappler, and that's where that gas tank's coming from, in my opinion. He did win. He won a unanimous decision his last fight against Callum Murray. And Callum was a tough kid. Callum's a tough kid, man. Callum's 4-0 with 4 knockouts up until the point he met Raza. And I think that gas tank's what changed the difference in that outcome. Raza's got a gas tank on him. I think how do you say that last name again? The other guys?
For his opponent, Akshev.
Yes. Akshev. You know, he's 13-3. 2 KOs, 5 subs. I think this is if you're a fan of grappling, if you're a fan of grappling, if you're a fan of the grappling side, I love grappling. I only grappled for 6 months, and that was just to understand the guy I was training side of what I was helping with. I just want to understand what he was doing. I love grappling. And if you're a fan of what I call combat grappling, because that's what I consider MMA. Yeah. And I heard a lot of feelings with jiu-jitsu guys when I say that, because they want to say fight, but I'm like, you're not getting hit, you're grappling still. Combat grappling to me is MMA. So if you're a fan of some dudes that might get an elbow and they get his arm snapped, I think this is the fight. I think it's going to be a high intense. There's going to be some striking to push against the fence, to set up some shots, to take some shots for a single or a double. I think you're going to see some nice judo slams with it. I think you're going to get in some serious, well-rounded inside clinch game that is going to be super high intense. My personal take, it's going to be super high intense with some shots on the ground. I think Raza takes it.
Yeah, man, I have a feeling that Raza might be able to take it. He could be submitting Akashev in the third round, early in the third round, just for the fact that they're going to be grappling, and they're very highly skilled grapplers, highly skilled jiu-jitsu practitioners. They're going to, you never know, maybe in the first round they're going to be feeling out each other, doing some striking and some, probably some clinching against the cage, trying to take one each other down. And that could be the first round. Second round comes, they already know what the other person has, and now they're going to try to get their skills in there with the grappling and try to take each other down and set up the takedown with a 1-2 and a kick, and then bam, somebody's going to take somebody down, and there we're going to have a nice grappling match. It could end in the second round, early in the third round by submission. I feel Raza might have that advantage to win this fight. Don't get me wrong, Akashev is a really excellent striker and excellent
on the ground.
It's going to be good, man. It's going to be a high intense grappling match.
The thing I give Raza for is I think Raza wins a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that tends to be his MO. I think he wins by points by getting back up after being taken down, or reversing the situation on the ground, where he's going to win most of his points. And I think Raza takes probably a split decision. I think it's going to go, 30-27 by 2 judges to Raza. That's my take. I think Raza takes it by decision. Like I said, strictly based on the fact that I think he's going to get up. He's going to be able to get out of situations better, and that's what's going to trouble. How do you say that again?
Akashev.
That's what's going to trouble him. And the thing is, when you got 10 subs and you got a guy that bugs you because you're used to putting people to sleep or tapping them, and you got a guy that's going to get up and frustrate you, I think that's going to be the main point. And those 3 rounds fly by real quick. And I think that's where Raza and I think his gas tank's going to surprise him. I think the gas tank's going to surprise him 100%, and that's going to be some of the major point for the outcome. Because Akashev's used to putting people down and early. and I want to see where he goes with it once it starts getting in the later rounds. Once it hits that late second round, starts hitting the third round. That's what I want to see come with it.
Yeah, it's going to be good, man. It's going to be a very high-paced fight. Like we've said, it's going to be one of those fights that's going to be on the ground most of the time. It's going to be a grappling match.
But it's going to be intense. It's not going to be a lay and play. It's
exactly.
going to be two guys. It's going to be two guys that know what they're doing, and you're going to see a lot of reversals. You're going to see a lot of standing back up, and then when they stand back up, they still got enough to throw and strike, and then get ready to run back with it. So that's what I think you're going to see a lot of. But like I said, I still take Raza split decision.
Hell yeah, same here. Right on. We got the main event: Bolhaz Askarov versus Rolando D. This fight, to me, I don't know. I feel like they're fighting for their life. They're fighting for their contract. Rolando's coming in on a 3-fight losing streak.
Yep.
Askarov, did he lose his last 2 or just his last one?
Last fight, he just lost his last fight.
He lost his last fight. Okay, so
but
I think he's one of those fighters that comes in winning, losing.
Absolutely.
It sucks seeing these type of high-ranked fighters losing and then winning and then losing and then winning. It's like there's got to be something going on in camp or in life or something.
That's exactly where I was going with
that's giving them this type of fight for them to. Okay, well, why did you win this one and then you lost your last one, and then you won your last one, then you lost your last? Like, what's going on? Do you need a change in camp? Do you need something needs to change in what's going on with your life or what? But he is a high-ranked fighter. This guy does finish his fights either by decision or by submission. Rolando, he's another one of those fighters that like to finish his fights as well. He is on a 3-fight losing streak. He was a champ before for UAE Warriors. And it's, I don't know, man. A lot of people ride really high with Rolando D. And I understand why, because when he fights, he brings it.
Yep.
So it is what it is with this fight. I am going to give the slight advantage to Askarov. But it is one of those fights that they're going to bring it because they want another win under their belt. Especially if Rolando's going to want that win. If he wants to continue fighting for Brave and try to climb those rankings for Brave, it's one of those fights, man, that he has to bring it. He has to.
Now, I'm going to go with D. I'm going to go with Rolando. The reason I say that is because there's something to be said about a man who's still ranked number 6 by Tapology when you're on a 3-fight losing streak. Now, the reason I say that is because Rolando has 8 of his wins are by decision. Askarov has lost his last fight by unanimous decision. I'm not saying that matters, but I think the gas tank out of Rolando, and he still got power to knock you out. He's got 4 knockouts underneath his belt, 2 subs. So that tells you either he's going the distance or he's knocking you out. And I think Rolando is built for he's coming in all, like you said, Rolando is literally going to be fighting for his life.
Well, if you look at his last 3 losses, his last loss was a rear naked choke in the first round. Then he lost it by unanimous decision. Then he lost by corner stoppage, bro. At the end of the first round, starting the second round, the corner just stopped the fight. So that's why I'm picking Askarov winning, just for the fact that it just doesn't seem that Rolando has found what's missing for him to win.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's a very valid point. I'm not going to take nothing away from that one. I'm not going to sit here and contradict what you just said, because that's 100%, 110%, tenfold right there.
Mm-hmm.
I just think I think we're going to see what kind of man Rolando is with his back pushed against the wall. Now, knowing you're really, really fighting for your life, fighting for your life and your career. And if he doesn't want to be a stepping stone, he's going to have to bring it even more in this one. He's going to have to step up his game, and he has it. He has the gas tank to do it. He's got 8 decisions. Like I said, he comes to get it. He's either knocking you out or it's going the distance in a war. I think that's why he's gotten submitted a few times, because of that mentality. I think that's where those losses that came in with the, and we don't know the corner stoppage. There could have been a hand injury, an elbow injury, a foot injury. There's many things that play out to why someone stops a fight in the corner, especially at the end of the first round. Now, if it was a 5-round fight and they stop it in the 3rd or 4th, it's probably from getting onslaughted and maybe an injury. But if you stop it at the end of round 1, well, I'm guessing there's an untold story in that, there's something between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Rolando comes in fighting for his life. He's got the gas tank to do it. The guy he lost to last time was a 14-2 record. Hotak O from he's an Asian descent fighter, an amazing freaking fighter at that. So that's why I think this isn't just he's done. I think he's just it's going to be his way to stay in the game, his way to stay in to try to be into a title contention, because he's got the game for it.
Yeah.
He's just got to put it together. And I think this is the fight that when you were talking about what's missing, I think you find what's missing. And this is either going to this one right here is going to be the next one that I say is going to contend for the fight of the night.
Well, and there's more added pressure for Rolando fighting in the backyard of Askarov, because he's fighting in his backyard, man.
Yep.
He's fighting in his home country, and you got the whole entire country backing Askarov against the Philippine.
Well, and the reason I say I'm still going with Rolando, I think ends it in the 3rd, because he's going to know there's no other way. Yeah. You don't let it go to decision in someone else's house. And I tell people all the time, if you want to make noise, you go to that person's house.
True.
So that's where I think I'm going with Rolando. I'm going mid 3rd round. It's going to hit. It's going to be. But the thing is the ref. It's going to be a knockout. And when I mean knockout, it's not going to be a referee stoppage, because you're going against the hometown hero. The corner's not going to stop it. The ref's not going to stop it. You're going to have to end that dude, because if you can squeak him through, if you can squeak him through the end, he's got a better shot at winning the decision.
And if we follow the trend on Askarov, it's a loss. So this next one is a win.
Well, I'm going. He's about to hit a 2-loss fight streak right here with Rolando, and I think this is going to be the fight that puts Rolando back on track. That's my money. I like the way he fights. I like how he comes to bring it. I think it's Rolando, mid 3rd round stoppage. It's going to be a KO, and it's going to be a KO.
Awesome. Well, folks, that's our predictions for Brave CF 62. Don't miss this event live on Friday, September 30th, starting at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. You can watch it live on Brave TV and YouTube. It's going to be a very impressive card. It's only a 7-fight card. So, I love these shorter fight cards, because you get more invested on these fighters than having a 15, 18, 20 fight card, because that's just a lot of fights.
and you start losing track to who you were watching. You know, you try to go back and
Exactly.
remember. You know,
Yeah.
this 7 to 8, you stack a card with 7 to 8 great fights. People remember that. People remember
Yeah.
those names. That's only 16 names you got to remember, not 50.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I mean
Exactly.
that's where it's at. The other thing is, if you want to check out the recaps and our opinions, we'll also probably have an article up on FightBookMMA.com.
Yes.
You can also check out our Facebook and Instagram page at FightBook MMA. Just type in FightBook MMA in your search bar, and he'll pull us up. Look for us on there. We'll also post an article for the pre and the post show. And feel free to chime in anytime on the threads on Facebook. Just come in there and chime in and say, hey man, you know, whether you think we're right or you think we're wrong, give us your opinion, give us some feedback. And eventually, maybe everyone will like us. Most people don't like my opinions anyway. So
Hey, everybody's entitled to an opinion, bro.
right?
We are all entitled to an opinion. So it's gonna yeah. So
I'm gonna tell you, Berto, it's good to be back.
Hell yeah.
I didn't realize how much I missed it until that day you brought me on sitting ringside.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how much I missed it and how much I missed just chopping it up with you on Fight Game. And me and Berto's been friends. Me and Berto's been family for about 10 years now. It's, this thing has been a long time coming. I'm just happy to be part of it. I'm happy you brought me along for the ride with it. I'm excited to see what me, you, and Sean's going to do with everything we got going on in the near future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, before we end this, to me, the fight world's the fight world. And what I mean by that is I don't think any one style or whatever outplays the other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any one style is better than the other. I'm a fight fan through and through. I don't care if it's MMA. I don't care if it's kickboxing. I don't care if it's boxing. I just wanted to give this huge shout out that I'm a boxer. Boxed for 20 years. Been training for probably almost 10 years now, training people. But I had a loss in the fight world with my original boxing coach. I'm just giving a huge shout out while we got a platform. I lost my original boxing coach last Friday. He passed away at the age of 64. Lethal Cecil Pettigrew from East Tulsa, Oklahoma. Great man. Helped a lot of people along the way. One of the toughest SOBs you ever meet. The toughest SOB you ever meet. Taught me a lot about how to just be a man in the fight business, how to treat people right in the fight business. And I just wanted to say, RIP to my man Cecil. I want to tell his wife, Carrie, his wonderful wife, Carrie, my deepest condolences. And I will see them on the 23rd when we do his celebration in October. I just want to give that huge shout out, because it don't matter if you're boxing, if you're kickboxing or MMA. To me, we're all one huge family, whether we're immediate or cousins. That's how I branch them out. But just wanted to give that huge shout out from my man, Lethal Cecil Pettigrew, RIP till I see you on the other side, my man. Bro,
yeah, man.
episode 1 in the books.
Hell yeah, episode 1. Just want to give thanks to Brave Combat for giving us this opportunity. Everybody that's working for Brave, when the next episode comes out, we will have our post show. And yeah, so thanks to everybody that's watching and supporting us. We really do appreciate it. Go to FightBookMMA.com for all your combat sports news and all your Brave Combat Federation news and results and recap, weigh-in results, everything that you need to know about Brave.
Everything.
Go to FightBookMMA.com.
Yes,
have a good night.
Hey,
We'll see you next time, man.
We're
Peace
out.
out. Later.